Okay guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to change the oil on the M54 engine. So what we're going to be doing is I'm not going to be getting underneath the car and straining it from the sump, as many people keep saying to me and Nathan that I'm an old man and we're too old, we shouldn't be doing this. So in that case today I'm not going to be doing no old man stuff. I'm going to be using a nice strainer to strain the oil free of the dipstick and straight into this strainer that I have. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and remove the oil filter, and then we're going to crack on and I'm going to show you how to drain the oil. But firstly we're going to be using this liquid, which is engine flush. I'm going to put that in the engine first and let the engine come up to temperature so the oil is all broken up, so ready to strain out, because obviously I'm not going to be doing it via the sump. So we're going to dump this in the engine first, and I'm going to let the car warm up. We're going to leave it running for about 15-20 minutes and let it just cycle round. I believe this stuff works very well. It cleans all the crap from everywhere and helps the engine more efficient, makes it more efficient on oil. So let's go ahead and put this in. Okay guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead now and I'm just going to pour this straight in to the oil fill cap, like so, right there. And as you know, these engines get a lot of sludge and build up from the CCV and everything, so this just helps stop that on these engines. Now I do believe this does work. I've used it in quite a lot, and especially the diesel engines where they get sludge as well from the oil. And obviously this stuff does work, and it cleans off all the crap underneath the crankcase and any kind of sludge, just all sludge in the engine. It really does help the engine a lot, and it doesn't cause any problems. A lot of people say, oh, don't use that because it causes more problems than it's worth. When there's old stuff in the engine, they tell you not to use this because you can make more, because obviously it's been sitting there for so long, it's probably helping the engine, but I don't believe it does. I believe getting rid of it makes this engine a lot better, especially on the M54 engine. On the newer engines on the M52 I wouldn't advise using this, but on these engines you can use it. So okay guys, so as you can see, the car's now running and I'm trying to get it up to temperature. With the stuff in, we're going to leave it idling for about 10 minutes like this, so the stuff works itself around the engine and cleans out all the sludge. And what we're going to do is we're going to strain it, so you're not going to be able to see the colour of the oil, so obviously it's going to be in a strainer. But what I can do is try and open it up so you guys can see the colour of it. Now this stuff does work. You only need one tin for every 6 litres. As you know, these BMs only take 6 litres anyway. I think it's 6.5 maybe. But what we're going to do after is we're going to check the engine oil filter as well. As the data guy said to me as well when I bought this, as you saw with the water pump and thermostat, he said to me this car didn't need anything doing and it's only just been serviced. Now, when I took out the air filter and the cabin filter yesterday, they looked actually very clean and pretty new. And they were cabin filter and air filter. And air filter didn't look very dirty. So I'm suggesting this car has actually been recently serviced. But I'm not going to believe that, because obviously after seeing the water pump and the thermostat, I can't take any chances. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to obviously change the oil and the oil filter anyway to be on the safe side, to eliminate them kind of worries that I've got already. Okay guys, so we're going to be using this, which is the suction pump for the oil. I've used this before on my M57 engines and my M54 engines, and it's been absolutely great. It saved me a lot of a hassle of getting underneath the car, jacking the car up all the time. Obviously on the M52 you can't do this, since it doesn't have a dipstick unless it's got the M54 engine. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be using this to strain the oil, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you now. All you've got to do is just pull the dipstick out like that, and you just want to leave this to rest wherever. So I'll just put it up there. Then what you want to do is just put this down into the sump all the way down. Just pull it all the way down until you feel it touch, which it has. Then all you're going to want to do is bring it over and then start pumping it until it starts sucking, and you'll know when it starts sucking, and you'll see in a minute. As you can hear, if you can hear that, it starts sucking all the oil, and now it's started pulling all the oil out. And I don't know if you can hear, but all the oil is now going into the system here, where it's going to be held. Now it does pull out all the oil, but you have to start the car to get the oil to temperature to break it down, because as you know, oil sits there thick and it's got to warm up by the engine and break it down, which it has done. So now it's doing that. Once that's done, we're going to take the oil filter. You want to do this first before taking the oil filter, as obviously you know there'll be too much oil in the oil filter housing. And whatever sets down, I'll release it in a sec to drop the oil back down, and we'll get the rest of the oil down into the sump so we can lift it back up. Okay guys, so now we're going to be using the 36mm socket, and obviously as you see, my extendable ratchet, so I'm going to be using this to release the oil filter housing. As you can see, I just release it and then just pull it and just undo it like that, and it takes little to no effort to remove these with this kind of tool. Obviously as you release it, the oil drops down into the engine, so back to the sump. So that's what you want to do, is you want to get it back down. So you just want to untighten it, which I've done. I've unloosened it now, and we're going to leave it like that so all the oil drains back down into the system. So obviously as it drains back down into the system, it will capture all the other oil. So then when I do release the oil filter, it will be empty. But what I've got to now pump this. As you know, the air stopped, and that's what happens in it. We need to get the air back flowing. Now I know the oil isn't completely drained out of this yet, as I can tell just by the way how much is in here. So you can see, guys, the oil it's now finishing sucking all the oil, and this is the noise it will make once the sump's empty. I've been setting it suck every little bit. As you know, we put engine flush in it, you don't want to leave that in the engine. You want to try and get every bit out. But there you go, and that's the end of it. Now in here there's I don't know if you can see in the light there, but there's way over nearly 6.5 litres in the engine, which hasn't used any oil. I can see by here, it's up to there where my finger is, and it's an 8 litre canister. So the oil's full, it's full of oil in there, which I suppose is a good thing. Now what you want to do is just pull it back out, like that. And this is the best invention they ever made for these cars. Like I say, this is the best way to service a car, and it's what makes servicing a car actually fun, and you want to do it, not have to take it to a garage, because especially on a BM. I bought this when I had my diesel engine, because I thought, you know what, why am I going to get underneath the car all the time and pay someone to service my car when I can just do it like this? And obviously you just want to disconnect this part and keep this part free. Obviously we're going to have to drain the oil, but I'm going to drain it into the canisters. The other bottles want to fill up the oil, but now what we're going to go ahead and do is remove the oil filter. Okay guys, so now I'm just going to remove the oil filter. As you'll see here, I'm going to take off the ratchet, close that up and leave that up here, and we're just going to unscrew it. As you see, it comes out very easy, and as you'll see now, the oil filter is right here. And what we're going to do is get tissue, because I don't want it to leak anywhere. And that oil filter don't look too in bad condition actually, so that just shows this has been changed. That's actually in good condition compared to what you guys would have seen on my E61 video, where it was really mashed up. But this is actually in good condition. Now, this is the part I always tell everyone about. This part is crucial for the Vanos to make sure it gets the right oil pressure, and this controls the amount of oil pressure to the Vanos system itself, the same as on the M52. This part here, if that's missing, this will cause a lot of your Vanos codes. This is a very, very important part, and it's the same on the M52 engine. This is the filter for the Vanos unit itself, to filter the amount of oil going through into the Vanos system. If this ain't there, that's what will be related to your Vanos codes as well. So as I said to you in the Vanos solenoids, and the same for the M54, if this part is missing, that's why you're going to get a lot of problems with your Vanos itself, same as on the M54 engine. So please make sure these are there. What we're going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to take off all these O-rings and all this O-ring seal here, and I'm going to replace that. I've got a new filter ready to go on, so what we're going to go ahead and do is put the new filter on. So what I'm going to do now is, as you can see here, they don't give you the special little O-rings as most, like I say, most companies do on the oil filter. I don't think they actually need one, that's too bad. As you'll see, that's a nice new sump washer. Now I don't need that, because unless you're going to pull the sump plug, you don't have to, and that saves you a lot of money as well when you think about it. Pulling the sump washer all the time and changing that when you don't need to, that can cause you to have a leak from your sump. Why do that when you don't have to? Just do it like this, and it saves you having to do it. Now as you're seeing, I'm putting a new O-ring on the cap itself, which is just like that, and it slides straight on. Now obviously you're going to get oil and lube it up, which I'm going to do anyway, which we're going to be doing, lubing it up. And then what you want to do is just get the new filter and push it on tight, and it does go on easy on these. It's not like the M52s, as I told you. This is actually a really easy engine to service. I find it actually a doddle, especially so even getting underneath the car, it's easy, but the suction pumps makes it a lot easier. So what we're going to do, go ahead and do, is refit this back to the, just going to get oil and lube up the O-ring. You just want to get the old oil out of the oil filter. You don't want to really touch it, because obviously it won't screw on properly, and you don't want to crush this either. So what you want to do is just re-tighten it back on, screw it back on. It's very easy to screw back on. It doesn't take a brain scientist to work this out. Like I say, you just got to make sure the cap's on, everything's fully on, and then we put it back on itself. Now as you'll see, it is going back on, it is quite tight. You just use a socket to get it back on and screw it back on, but as you see, it's going back down now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my ratchet right here, lock it up, and just tighten it back down. Just tighten that oil filter back down until it's snug, which it is now. So that's that done. That's your oil filter back on now. Oil filter cap. Then what you just want to do is clean up any oil there, otherwise it will just smell of burnt oil. Okay guys, so as you'll see, I've got the oil here for the car. I'm using 5 watts by 40, as I believe it's better on a higher mileage car like this is, and this one's on 154,000 miles. As you'll see here, I need to do these change this oil. This oil here is triple QX. We get this in the UK here from Eurocar Parts. Any British people that watch this know this. It's actually a very, very good oil, and it's very highly recommended by, even garages use this here as well. This oil is very good. It's made by Shell. Anyway, and it's just got a different name, but you pay the price for the name. That's what I always say. You know, I usually use Shell on my M52 engine, but on this engine particularly, I like to use triple QX. It's highly known, and obviously a lot of people use it in the M54 engines and don't have a problem, so that's why I'm going to be using this today. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is refill the engine. Obviously you saw me strain the oil, but now what we're going to do is go ahead and refill the engine. Okay guys, so as you'll see there, I've got the siphon in there. Well, not a siphon, a funnel. So I need to put that in, and obviously what I need to do now is just fill up the oil. So what you want to do, I think this one's 6.5 litres, which I believe so. We'll just keep topping it up, and good thing is we've got a dipstick so we can check it. That's the only good thing. You know, we can't overfill it like the M52. We've got a dipstick, we'd have to keep running backwards and forwards to the car, so we'll just keep checking the dipstick as we go along. Then we're just going to fill it up and let it go down. Long process on this M54, a long process. Especially with this oil, triple QX, because this lid doesn't make it easy to squirt it out. We know we're going to use a whole 5 litre bottle anyway, but the rest of it we'll keep a spare. It doesn't take that much to fill it up. As you can do this, like I said to you, with that suction pump that I've got for the oil change, you can service your car very regularly using that, and it makes it easy to do. So when you think about it, I got the oil and the oil filter for less than £30 altogether, and I can do this every 4k if I really wanted to, even shorter, every 3k. When I had my diesel one, I was changing it probably every 2,000 miles, the oil, because as you know, diesel has a lot of carbon, so the oil gets very dirty very quick. These engines don't suffer with carbon build-up, so not like the M53, M52 sometimes does. Depends on what fuel you're using. As you can see here, the oil's just going in nicely and easily, and it's cleaner. I mean, that oil was black. I don't know when it was serviced. The guy said to me it'd been serviced, but you can't trust anyone's word. I mean, everything looked fine, but still we're going to change it for I know when it's been changed on the correct mileage. And obviously what you want to do as well is, if you're servicing the car yourself, keep a record of when you last serviced it. Obviously I'm going to reset the oil service light on these. It's easy to do, but that's the first lot filled up. That's the first 5 litres. So let me get the other side and we'll see guys, the oil actually from 5 litres has filled up the whole car. I don't know how that's possible, but anyway, what we're going to do is I'm going to obviously start the car up, let it run, let the oil cycles get around the whole engine, and pull itself around and then recheck it, because obviously it's sitting on 5 litres, but that's because the oil hasn't got itself around the whole engine yet. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to start the car up, let it run, and then refill it if need be after, and we'll let you guys know if it did need refilling or it didn't need refilling. So as you'll see guys, I've just checked the oil again, and as you'll see, it's actually dropped. So there's your answer. That's why you should always warm up the car even if you think it's full. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to have to re-top up the oil again to just make sure it stays level, and obviously we get it level. So we have to top it up just like a quarter, just to make sure it stays where it's meant to be. So I think it's 5.5 litres, which 5 litres did come out of the oil itself, because I put it back into the normal jug that I just put oil in, and it only took 5 litres and my whole suction thing was empty. So it means that this car didn't have the right amount of oil in it in the first place. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is top it up by a little bit, and as you can see, I'm going to put the dipstick back in, and then we'll measure it once we get back out. So I'm going to show you how to fill it back up again. So as you can see guys, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-top it up by another quarter in here, just to make sure it sits properly, the oil level sits correct. And I believe that should be enough. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is now we're just going to check the oil level and make sure everything is correct. As obviously I just want to make sure we've got everything. So I'm just going to go around and we're going to check the oil and make sure everything's correct. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over here and the oil level looks correct. So what we're just going to do is clean it up, put it back in, and we'll check it again. And I don't know if you can see there, I'll bring it into the camera view, but the oil level is now 100% correct. You can see it dripping off as well. It's 100% correct, so we've got it bang on where it's meant to be on full. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to close this video out, and that's the job done. So that's all you need to do if you want to ever change your oil on your M54 engine. It's quite easy to do. Like I said, it doesn't take any kind of special tools or equipment. Just have a strainer, it makes your life a lot easier. And then you can just service your car yourself whenever you want. And as I said, if you do end up overfilling, you can just end up just using the strainer to pull your, get it to the correct amount of oil. It's very easy. There's no risk of overfilling on these cars when you got on a tool like that. So there you have it, guys. That was the oil service complete on the M54 engine. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope I've shown you how to do it without needing to drain it from the sump, which makes it, like I said to you before, and I'll say it again, makes it a lot easier. If you overfill, you can take out what you've overfilled, and if you've got your suction one clean for clean oil, you can reuse that oil. So that's another good thing. You don't have to just drain it completely from the sump and have to worry about it all draining out and having to refill the correct oil. Just drain out what you need to drain out. You will know how much you've overfilled by literally a quarter, just look on the dipstick. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. It's BMW Dr. Dean here. Thanks for watching. Please like this video. Please, if you ain't subscribed already, please go ahead and subscribe. It's BMW Dr. Dean here, and goodbye.